Good morning, sports fans. I'm sorry, this was supposed to be last night, but we had a little issues last night. But, oh fuck. Hey, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the Dirt Turf Podcast. I have Jason here today. Kat will likely join us later today. How we doing today?
You forgot to say to grab your seeds and grab your gum, Tyler.
I know. Oh, don't forget to grab your seats and grab gum. How we doing today?
Could be a lot better, man. When you have car issues, which delayed the entire podcast to today, that's what happens.
I'm
Middle
dealing.
fingers up to life.
Yep. All right. So let's get right started. Breaking news. This is actually from a couple days ago. Jackson Jobe, the rising star pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, is out for the season with Tommy John surgery.
We were just talking about Tommy John in quite a few podcasts ago that Tommy John is becoming too much of an occurrence nowadays that you just can't, you can't deny that it's coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Whenever you're a pitcher. It's like, oh, you're a pitcher. You're a Tommy John. Sucks.
Even infielders have been getting Tommy John surgery. Just look at like Bryce Harper and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't understand. Is it because of the torque, the throwing motion? I definitely believe it is because of the speed of the game. But what is going on here? I mean,
I don't think they're properly training like they're. What I think it is, especially with the guys being a lot bigger and a lot stronger than they used to be, and their arms aren't used to throwing that. And I also think it might be with the. I've been looking this up. I think it might actually have to do with how the baseballs are made and how hard you have to grip it. Now,
really, you're saying it's the type of material on the professional baseball?
No, it's not the leather itself. It's, you know how they have that special mud they rub them in to make them a lot, like making the balls harder to grip. So they have to hold the ball harder, and because they cannot have any sticky substance other than rosin and sweat, it's making it harder to grip the ball. So you're putting more strain on your thing, and you're throwing harder, which adds more torque to your elbow. And that actually, the skyrocket in elbow injuries actually has been happening over the last 10 years. But recently, since Trevor Bauer called out the MLB for not going after people for the spider tack issue. Have you noticed that?
The MLB hates being called out for their bullshit. I mean, that's why Jim Belton, had been banned for so long because he called out certain behaviors in the MLB with ball four. That's why he, ended up being banned from baseball because he called out a lot of the back then. And back then it was illegal. How ironic we're talking about it in June, but there was a lot of behavior in the locker room and behind the scenes, a lot of behavior that we would consider more normal nowadays because of the LGBTQ community. So again, nowadays it's more common to see that type of behavior, not just in our way of life, but even in the locker rooms, you're seeing more and more gay athletes nowadays.
Right, because they can actually come out and not be ashamed for it, which I respect. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I respect.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's becoming more and more of, oh, hey, you can actually perform on the field. You can 100%. Actually perform on the field. If you can still perform on, that's not, to be honest, and I'm being honest. It was for me, if an athlete came out, I would hope that they would perform as well. You're in the top league, wherever you go, MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL.
NASCAR.
If you're included. NASCAR included, yes. Any top league, if you are a high level performer and you don't let whom you love, define, if you can, it's like it's more of a, oh hey, this guy's a superstar, but oh hey, he just so happens to, be attracted to the same sex. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Then that is becoming more and more common and more prevalent, because here's the thing, and this was probably a big issue. This is still a big issue nowadays, and it shouldn't be, because what are they doing differently that Aaron Judge isn't doing? You know, they're just going out there to do their job, which the athlete has two objectives on their mind. You agree with this, I agree with this, no matter what.
Right.
Those two objectives are: be the best damn performer you could be on the field. Two, don't get hurt.
Yeah. Don't.
That's it.
Exactly.
That is all an athlete cares about, regardless of sexual preference. And I know we went off on a tangent here because we're talking about Trevor Bauer. Sorry, excuse me. We're talking about Trevor Bauer calling out calling out the MLB, with Spider Tack and all that.
My biggest issue is the fact that, like, if the MLB would actually take initiative and actually, like, pay attention to their damn players and actually give them something. I mean, I understand some sticky stuff in the pitchers. If batters are allowed to use pine tar on the bats at a certain amount, pitchers should be allowed to use at least a little bit, just to get a little bit of a grip on the ball so they can...
Or hey, instead of just a rosin bag, hey, a bowl, and I'm a bowler, spoiler, I'm a bowler. That when we bowl, we have a grip sack. We have our own grip sack that dries our hands. Something like that to kind of dry off the hands, to allow more grip.
It's not, I mean, rosin, that's what they have is rosin. But I don't think just pure rosin's enough to have the grip.
No, rosin isn't enough. It legit isn't enough. Just because of how the surface of the ball is, especially nowadays.
So smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah.
It's
yes,
hard. It's the mud makes it hard. And go ahead.
I was about to say, I have felt the difference between a modern baseball today and a baseball back then. Because amazingly, I still have it. And the 90s baseball feels quite right, if that makes sense. Like, there's just the right amount of smoothness, but still have enough texture on it where you can have some grip. Whereas the modern ball, it's almost like glass. That's how smooth it is sometimes.
And the seams are like hardly even like the seams aren't like sticking out like they used to.
No, they're not as exposed.
Which makes
and that's the good thing about a baseball. That's the good thing about baseball, is feeling the seams.
And I don't have a baseball with me, but like I would say, even the early 2000s, I've actually have some home foul balls from early 2000s when I was a kid going to like minor league games and a couple MLB games. The baseball, and I have a modern one from I actually caught a foul ball a couple weeks ago at Citi Field. I felt the difference between those balls, and it's like ridiculous how smooth those balls are. Like, I think they do it. That's also that it also brings up the theory of the deuce ball theory.
Yeah, I would make this joke of, if we were actually affiliated with Manscaped, that would be the perfect segue to do that, Tyler.
I think I might have to contact them. Now we might have to contact them. Anyway, but yeah, but continuing on, like, this is a whole loop of a story. We have plenty of time since it's just the two of us. We can go a little bit longer. But yeah, the deuce ball theory. Remember back in, what was it, 2019, 2019, where the home run rate was through the roof?
Yeah, which, to be fair, that's all the MLB cares about, really, is putting butts in seats. So what puts butts in seats more than a few dingers? But a lot of teams complained that, hey, they're getting too many home runs, or and the Rockies are like, oh hey, we got an idea how to reduce the juice. We got the humidor, make everything even. And they still suck.
I still think the balls are juiced.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even back in 2019, the balls were nowhere near as glassy as they are now.
No, they definitely weren't. I think ever since Manfred took over, this person of integrity, Rob Manfred, being being in charge of being the new commissioner of baseball, there's definitely been a fluctuation on the game, and it's not been pleasant.
Higher, there's actually since he took over after Bud Moore, there's been a higher influx of pitcher injuries, infielder injuries, and league-wide ERA has gone up.
Yeah, and that is definitely not good. Especially for the game of baseball. I hate to say this. I don't hate to say this. I will hate Rob Manfred for doing what he was trying to do to the minor league system and try to literally destroy it. And I will forever hate Manfred for that because I love the minor leagues. It's a different type of experience. It's actually sometimes even more fun of an experience.
He wanted to shorten the games to 7 innings. I'm like, what's the point of that? Baseball games are 9 innings, always have, always will be.
Yeah, unless you're in Little League, but even so, that's understandable.
Little League in high school, high school, and college. That's understandable.
Yeah,
because high school is 7
yes.
and college is 8.
Yeah, but even so, if you attempt to what he's trying to do, I understand what he's trying to do, and it's wrong of him to do it that way. He's trying to speed up the game because he's saying that's probably the NHL even says it too. That is the main reason that fan attendance is so low is because the game is too slow. And I highly disagree with that. Being a fan of both sports and having attended a live game in first place. Ticket prices are too high. They're getting way too high. They've always had
concession prices,
food, concessions, fan apparel, whether it be a cap, a jersey, a T-shirt, a pen. Those are too high. Concessions are stupid. Concessions are stupid. Food is stupid.
$10 for a thing of popcorn this big?
Yeah.
Or $30 for a 16-ounce beer? Really? That's how you get fans in the stands? And no, it's not because of the pace of the game.
Not even, and it's also not even good beer, because it's watered down. The beer is watered down because they don't want you to get drunk. It's also stupid, because it ruins the taste.
Mm-hmm. No, my biggest issue is the fact that maybe focus on adjusting the ticket prices so maybe the everyday regular fan instead of the rich people can afford to go to the game.
Again, you just hit the nail on the head. But if you lower the rates, that'll definitely that'll increase the interactions the rich people have with the poors. You can't have that because the rich people want their classy steak dinners and lobster.
John Fisher.
Hi, Cat.
Boys.
Hey, Cat.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live. We're live.
Sweet.
We were just going on a tangent about how bad the baseballs are and what the biggest problem in baseball is currently.
Tyler was talking about balls.
This would be good if we had Manscaped. Anyway.
Son of a bitch stole my line.
Anyway, so you want a couple opinions on the Jackson Joby injury? That's actually what this started as.
I don't even know what happened to it.
Tommy John.
Another one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and he's a top-rated pitcher prospect too.
He's in
Of
the.
course he is.
He's one of the. He's second behind Tariq Skubal in that
Do,
rotation.
do we have a number on how many Tommy Johns this is for this year now?
I don't know, and I don't have a Tommy John counter in front of me, unfortunately.
You know, I think we need one for the Dirt and Turf podcast. I think we need a Tommy John
Yep.
count.
Yeah. Next year we'll make like a digital clipboard. Not only counting how many Tommy Johns we have, but this many days since the Tommy John injury.
There is 8 pitchers out this season for Tom John
That's it?
so far.
I thought we were up to like 12.
So
far.
But
Wow.
8 is
Let's
too
see.
much. 8 is too much.
It's top pitchers too. We got Walker Buehler, Shane Bieber, Garrett Cole, Jackson Joby, Dustin May, John Means, and what's his face? And whoever freaking one of the pitchers for the Mets.
Wow.
Speaking of, all right, let's get moving on because we're already halfway through. The other biggest one I found out, which is actually out of left field, North Carolina governor is pushing for MLB in the Charlotte area.
I don't
time.
Yeah.
There is. Let me chime in first before you do, Kat. It's about time, considering that the NFL has base in Charlotte with the Panthers, and also don't forget about the Hurricanes in North Carolina, in Raleigh.
You got
But
NBA.
even so, you got the NBA with the Hornets,
and you got even freaking NASCAR.
Yeah. Again, so it's not like Charlotte and North Carolina. It's not like it's not a sports-rich environment.
Oh, it is.
And also
100%.
baseball. Yeah.
The Charlotte Knights.
Yes. So, it's about time that a team comes to Carolina. Kat, go ahead.
But
Agree. There's also all those college teams. You got the Tar Heels. You got
Duke.
Duke.
You got NC State.
NC State.
These players, they deserve to have a Major League Baseball team to aspire to join.
And not only that, but not just North Carolina, but South Carolina as well. The Gamecocks are literally. Yep, the Gamecocks are literally one of the best baseball colleges.
Same with Clemson.
Yeah, with Clemson. So again, it's not like North Carolina isn't. And a kind of a fun fact, and I'm gonna get a little personal here. When I played the league and did my first tryout, I wore a North Carolina Tar Heels T-shirt for a tryout. So it was my favorite shirt.
Because North Carolina Tar Heels back in the early 2000s were a really good baseball team.
And a reminder that I played the league in the 90s, early 90s. So
yeah,
I'm an early to mid 2000s person. But the thing is that's actually a really good area because you got Charlotte, which is in vicinity of Atlanta, South Carolina, Nashville, Virginia, Kentucky right there, which is a really good baseball area because especially with Vanderbilt, Tennessee, all those things, Clemson, South Carolina.
It's a very good border state, if that makes sense, for baseball. Yes.
Especially with Georgia right there too as well. Because you got Atlanta Braves, and that'd be a great rivalry. Honestly, that would be a really cool rivalry.
A district type.
I really don't understand why Major League Baseball has not been in North or South Carolina yet.
Even if it's like South Carolina, just name it like Carolina something instead of North Carolina or something like that.
That sounds like the route they would go. And to answer Kat's question to why uh, baseball had been so hesitant to expand, and my opinion is they were stuck in traditional ways. That and the Rockies hadn't done so hot as they thought they would.
Yeah.
The best modern expansion team is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks
The
and Rays.
Yankees.
Diamondbacks and
Yeah,
Rays.
the Diamondbacks is the more successful one, beating the Yankees during the time when 9/11 happened.
Not so much now, but the Marlins are up there too.
Marlins were an expansion team with the Rockies.
97, I believe, right? Or 93?
93.
Yep, so 93 they came in, and then Diamondbacks came in 97.
Right. And again, I know that because Ricky and I used to play a game on the classic PlayStation called MLB Pennant Race.
I
It was from
remember that game.
1995.
I remember that game.
What do you think? Yeah, it was awesome. And nowadays that franchise is MLB The Show.
All right.
Yeah.
So
So the pennant race is still alive.
anyway, before we move on, any other things? Because we have one more story to cover before we get into the standings.
Nope, go for it.
All right. So you guys all remember the Tyler Skaggs death back in 2019, right?
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there has been a bombshell of a current MLB player on the Cincinnati Reds. Wade Miley was the one who prescribed him with all those with all the opioids and stuff like that.
And no, unlike swim and respecter Big Lots Benito, he was not on the Epstein plane.
We can call Wade Miley famous drug dealer.
Yes, responsible drug user and supplier.
Wade Miley.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's come out with a bombshell, and this actually came out yesterday morning. Rob Manfred is investigating him right now, and possibly he's still playing right now, but Wade Miley is possibly going to be suspended pending investigation.
Rob Manfred being a person of integrity for the first time probably in his fucking life.
What's your opinion?
If only Roger Goodell had that same level of integrity when it came to the refs in the Kansas City fucking Chiefs.
Anyway, Kat, what's your opinion on that?
I hope that Tyler's family is ready for that.
He's going to. Tyler's family is planning to file a lawsuit against MLB and Wade Miley.
Opening up those old wounds, that's going to be just so painful. I'm sure it's already painful.
I know. Now it's not the first death that they're reopening. Jose Fernandez's death is being reopened too because he was under the influence when he crashed that boat. So they're reopening that as well.
See, and this is why, nobody died when Pete Rose gambled. Nobody died when, as bad as the steroid era was, guys were not dying from the steroids.
They just maybe have their penis penis shrunk. That's
smaller.
About it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, no one died when responsible gambler Pete Rose gambled and was caught. No one died when famous liar to Congress Rafael Palmeiro used steroids, or Barry Bonds, famous cheating bastard,
or
Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa.
Well, and
Barry
the thing is,
Roger Clemens either.
These guys are now involved in a scandal that involves death, and they're still playing baseball.
It's because
MLB League of Integrity. MLB League of Integrity.
Right. NFL. And I'm like, okay, so we have zero tolerance for gambling, but helping someone die.
And Wade Miley's being investigated not only for possession of the substances, drug dealing and possible unintentional manslaughter.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that makes me want to tell my children, you know what, guys? You don't want to be a professional baseball player. Go join the Bananas instead.
Or go play golf.
Please don't mention please don't mention the Bananas. My dad's hole.
Anyway.
Love the Bananas. I love the party animals. They now have the Texas firefighters. They've got what's that other team that they have now? They've got like 6 teams now.
They need one that represents porn stars.
Oh my god. This is where I
Johnny Sins representing the Savannah Bananas. That'd be hilarious.
This is where Izzy would be perfect, but you don't have your soundboard.
You need to go.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh my god.
Speaking of them, before we move on to the things, we, actually mainly me, have launched a Yinzer hoodie. We're going to be launching a merch here soon. We actually have Yinzer mode hoodies starting to go on sale here.
Merch!
Go to printify.com/thehardcountmerch and check out our store. It just has one at the moment, but we're going to be continuing crazy designs. And thank you to our affiliate Fanatics today as well.
Nice. We'll do the ad read after our games of the weekend.
All right, let's move on to standings. All right. So we got 3 of you're not going to be able to. Oh fuck. I guess it's just you and I. All right.
I guess so.
I will do the East. You do the Central. I'll do the West, and then we can do just flip flop on the back. So for the AL East, we got the New York Yankees at 42-26 with a 618 win percentage. They are 6-4 in their last 10. The Blue Jays are 38-31, 551 per win percentage, 4.5 games back.
Redbird left because I have merch and she doesn't.
Oh, don't worry, Redbird will be getting merch too.
I've got my merch coming with the hockey. You don't have anything, Yinzer.
Anyway, continuing, the Jays are 4.5 games back, and they're 7 of their last 10. The Tampa Bay Rays are 37-32 at 536 win percentage, 5.5 games back, 7 of their last 10. The Boston Red Sox.
Back, guys.
The Boston Red Sox. All right, I'll pause for a second. Well, I'll actually talk about a little bit of this other MLB news while we're waiting.
All right. When the dogs start barking, you know there's something going on.
All right.
He just needs to find the mute button on this. That's all.
And he's back.
Okay, all right, back to the standings.
Cobra, you just need to find the mute button.
And we got the Boston Red Sox, who are actually facing the Yankees this weekend. 35-36, a 493 win percentage, 8.5 games back. They're 6 of their last 10, and Cats, unfortunate Orioles, 28-40, 412 win percentage, 14 games back, and they're on the rise. They're 6 of their last 10. Cobra, they got the Central.
Cat was kind of dying inside seeing the Orioles in the state that they're in. Getting back to this.
This week the Orioles were at a 410. The week before that they were at a 310. Like they're gaining some ground here. I'm not upset.
It's still early in the season. It's not even halfway through the season yet because it's not even close to All-Star break. But anyway, Cobra, you got the AL Central,
which is being led by the best team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, 46-25 with a 648 win percentage and 6 of the last 10. Then behind them, the Minnesota Twins, 36-33, 522 win percentage, 9 games back, 4 of their last 10. The Cleveland Guardians of the Galaxy, 35-33, 515 win percentage, 9.5 games back, and 3 of their last 10. And then right behind them, the Kansas City Royals, 34-36, 486 win percentage, 11.5 games back, 3 of their last 10. and they have to be careful because nipping at their heels, I hate to say this, are the Chicago White Sox, 23-47, 329 win percentage, 22.5 games back, 5 of the last 10. And let me add this. The reason why I'm calling the Minnesota Twins the Minnesota Twins is because the Minnesota Twins have their win taken by them by the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm. And then you got the what? Did you already do the White Sox?
Yep.
All right, Cat.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
Cat, can you read them, or do you want me to just go ahead and you just listen?
No, you go ahead. I'm not home yet.
All right. So the American League West, the Houston Astros are 39-30, 565 win percentage. They're 7 of their last 10. The Seattle Mariners are 34-34, 500, 4.5 games back.
Kicking the fans in the dick. Kicking the fans in the dick.
2-8.
Tick City, Seattle Mariners.
They're 2 of their last 10. The Texas Rangers are 34-36, 486 win percentage, 5.5 games back. They're 500 in their last 10. Also, Max Scherzer made his 2025 debut the other day and went 6 scoreless innings.
So he finally decided to show up and discover his love for baseball again.
Mm-hmm. Mad Max! Hey, Keith!
And the Starman has arrived!
Hey!
And we got the...
I want to say, keep it like that so you be our resident Wilson.
Anyway, the Artie Moreno LA Anaheim Angels, or what the hell you want to call them. Just call them the Anaheim Angels, because that's actually what they are. The Angels are 33-35 with a 485 win percentage, 5.5 games back, but they're actually playing pretty decently as of late. They're 7 of their last 10. And sorry, Athletics fans. I'm calling you Oakland because I'm still calling you Oakland.
They deserve to be in Oakland. They deserve to be.
The Athletics are 27-44, 380 win percentage, 13 games back, but they're 4 of their last 6. But before we move on to the National League, the Tigers have the best home record in baseball, 24-9.
The best home record. Okay, I mentioned they were the top team in baseball, but the best home record. Very interesting.
All right, Cobra, do you want me to do the East, or what do you want to do? We can actually go any order you want.
I'm gonna take the East.
Lol Mets.
Starting us off in the East is, of course, Lowell Mets reigning supreme once again. 45-25, 643 win percentage, and 7 of their last 10.
They're the second best.
Don't worry, guys. Yep, but don't worry, guys. We'll get to laugh at them on July 1st.
All right, next.
It's coming. Let's go. All right. Right behind them, the Philadelphia Phillies, 40-29, a 580 win percentage, 4.5 games back, but they're on a kind of a skid right now, 4 of their last 10.
The Braves are surprisingly hanging in there.
They're surprisingly hanging in there with gauze, super glue, duct tape, paper clips, rubber bands, whatever they can get to hold it. Whatever they can do to hold the shit together. 30-38, 441 win percentage, 14 games back, 3 of their last 10. Then the Washington Nationals, 30-39, 435 win percentage, 14.5 games back. Oof. And 2 of the last 10. Okay. And then the Miami Vice Marlins, 26-41, 388 win percentage, 17.5 games back, 3 of their last 10.
I am actually going to take the NL West because I actually want to do a little fun fact. I also, stay tuned for the end. I actually have a trivia question for all of us at the end. New segment.
Ooh, Tyler trivia. Nice.
All right, NL West, and I'll have Cobra do the Central because I know how Yinzer is.
Yeah.
And, okay, so we got the NL. Oh, damn it! I wish we had Izzy. The San Francisco Giants are actually tied for first with the LA Dodgers, so I'll do those both at the same time. They're both 41-29, 586 win percentage, but the Giants are better overall in their last 10 at 8-2, and the Dodgers are 5-5 in their last 10.
And don't forget who the Dodgers' best player is.
Famous.
Responsible gambler, Shohei Ohtani.
And the Padres are only 2 games back, 38-30 with a 559 win percentage, 2 games back, 4-6 in their last 10. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 1 game over 500, 507 win percentage, 5.5 games back, but they're also surging at 7 in their last 10. And the worst modern team in baseball, surpassing the 2024 Chicago White Sox, the Colorado Rockies, 13-56 with a 188 win percentage, 27.5 games back. I mean, they're 4 for the last 10, but that doesn't matter. They are 7. Wow. Okay, so you want to know this? They have the worst home record ever recorded in the live ball era.
To be fair, Coors Field is a home run paradise.
I feel like at this point they're doing it on purpose.
7-27 at home, 6-29 on the road.
They're trying to move.
I swear.
But
no, I think it's a money laundering scheme. I think
the Rockies are on pace to only win 20 of 162 games.
Oof.
Yeah.
That is a rocky road.
Oh my god. NL Central.
And now for the NL Central. Leading the way are the Chicago Cubs.
The good Chicago team.
42-28, 600 win percentage for the last 10. They are definitely better at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field than they are away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, right behind them, the Milwaukee Brewers starting to show some life. 38-33, a 535 win percentage, 4.5 games back, and 5 of the last 10. Then the Chicago Cardinals. That is retro.
The Chicago
Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals. 36-34, 514 win percentage, 6 games back, but 3 of the last 10. Then the Cincinnati Reds. 35-35. Yeah, flat 500, 35-35, 7 games back, 6 of the last 10. And you've got the Pirates. Those win for shit. 29-42, a 408 win percentage, 13.5 games back. 7 in the last 10.
Don't worry.
You know what? Still a shot to Super Bowl.
Yinzer, at least you're not a Rockies fan. That's all I could say.
I don't know. Yinzer might belong to the. You know, we all make our choices in life, Yinzer. Yours are usually bad, but well.
At least we're. Okay, I need to make more merch later, but anyway, all right, let's move on to our games of the weekend. All right, we're gonna go with Cat, Cobra, even.
Hold up. Which, as we reminded you, are brought to you by Fanatics. Just want to get that heads up.
All right,
go ahead.
Cat,
let's do our game.
Cat, Cobra, Keith, and if you want to do it, Keith, you can. You don't have to. And then I will go last. Go ahead, Cat. We're gonna do 2 each. 2 each.
I gotta watch my Orioles.
And they're facing the Angels. That's an FYI.
Yes. And honestly, I feel like that's a good matchup.
I think so.
I feel like it is. And then let's see. You said 2. Okay. Let me look.
I already know which one I'm going, and everybody should know. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm scrolling. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with San Francisco and the Dodgers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
In honor of our favorite gremlin, Izzy.
All right, Cobra, you're next.
And you know what? I'm going to say this. Both of my games are predicated on seeing absolute train wrecks. So, give me Rockies, Braves, and give me White Sox and Rangers. I want to see carnage here. I want to see good teams beat up on its little brother.
All right, Keith, are you interested in saying your games of the week, or are you good?
Yeah, I'll say it. I like watching the Blue Jays and the Phillies, and I'm a Philly fan, and
All
I
right, go
lived
ahead.
a long time in Houston, so I want to also watch the Twins and the Astros.
All right, and everybody knows because of my team. I'm going with the biggest rivalry in baseball, Yankees Red Sox, and I'm also going to go with the Mets. I'm actually going to stay in New York, and I'm going to go with the Mets Rays.
Nice. And I did want to remind, and once again, I know I said it before, but I'll say it again. This is brought to you by our affiliates at Fanatics. As you know, tomorrow is Father's Day, and of course, Fanatics are celebrating dads, grads, and more. So the MLB, of course, has their light blue hats. So why don't you grab one of those by using our affiliate link in the bio, where everyday podcast to show the channel some love, and not only a hat, but why not a jersey? Why not a T-shirt? Why not from any other sport? Why not grab some merch for John Cena's retirement run from the WWE?
Or
why not grab yourself some official? Why not grab yourself some Stanley Cup merch for the NHL Stanley Cup final?
Or NBA
Or why
final.
not? Yeah, with the Pacers and OKC. And why not rub it in by reminding us of the Super Bowl champions, Keith, Philadelphia Eagles.
Also,
but again,
go ahead, but real quick before you continue. Also, due to NASCAR being in Mexico and F1 being in Canada, don't forget to get your F1 and NASCAR merch and celebrate Father's Day weekend, especially at the track or wherever you go or wherever you watch your podcast. The link will be down below.
Yep. Show the channel some love with our affiliate, Fanatic.
All right, this is a perfect segue into the new segment, which hopefully will stick around. Trivia time.
Yep.
All right, since it is Father's Day weekend, all right, how many father-son duos have played in the MLB history, in the modern MLB history, 1960 to now? We're not going to go anything past that.
Okay.
Closest wins.
Okay, do you mean father and son who played on the same team on the field together?
Or like father-son, like where one father-son, like family, so father-son who played in the MLB. It doesn't have to be at the same time. And how many of those are there?
Can I go first?
Yep, go ahead.
I'm gonna say 8.
Okay, Cobra.
I'm gonna say it's more than that. I'm gonna say 16.
Okay, Keith.
I like to say probably 5.
Actually, Cobra, you are actually the closest. It is 12.
Ooh, nice.
We got, okay, so before we end off, it's...
Wait, yeah.
We got,
about to say, Cat's, in my opinion, Cat's closer, actually.
Oh, yeah, you said 8.
Because and Cat said 8. I said 16.
Well, how many did you say, Keith?
Keith said
5.
Okay, so obviously everybody knows this one. Junior and senior, obviously.
Cal Ripken Jr. and Senior. Barry and Bobby Bonds.
Yep.
We got Cecil and Prince Fielder. Craig Biggio and Kevin Biggio. You got Vladimir Guerrero and Guerrero Jr.
Yes.
Matt Holliday and Jackson Holliday.
Yep. Let's see who else. We got.
I love that so many of the Orioles are involved in this. By the way,
Bobby and Barry Bond.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna conclude this one. Yogi and Dale Berra. Ray and Bob Boone. Gus and Buddy Bell. Felipe and Moses Alou, and it has all. And also, don't forget about there's a really good one that recently. I'm trying to remember the names. There's a really good one.
Well, and I'll say one that. Yikes! Sorry, guys, I'm outside, and that was a really loud truck. One that his son didn't play in the majors, but I'm pretty sure he was in a minor league for a little bit. Cal Ripken Jr.'s son, Ryan Ripken, actually played.
Yep, that's one of them.
So he was in the minors. I don't think he ever made it to the majors.
Oh, and we're also forgetting another one, even though he's not playing very well, Alan Jack Leiter.
Oh.
All right, guys, that is it for today's episode. Don't forget to check out our sponsor for today, Fanatics. Thank you for showing up. Also, check out our store, hardcount.printify.com to check out our merch. Also, check out our new Patreon and all our social medias. And remember to play ball.
Yep. Play ball, everyone.